Hello indie game fan, the very packed month of August was jammed full of excellent titles, so here are some hidden gems you might have missed, beginning with An Ankou, an action roguelite that follows a trend of Vampire Survivors-like titles, but crucially is not just a 1:1 clone, but rather has some new ideas of its own. You play as a servant of death who has to help lost souls on their journey, where of course demons roam the land and you need to defeat them as well. The scavenging for resources part is a neat twist, and doesn't just throw you straight into the bullet heaven combat, being a neat spin on this subgenre. Another game in which the inspiration is clear is Sclash, a 2D weapon fighter with one-hit kills, certainly calling upon the spirit of Bushido Blade in more ways than one. It has a beautiful hand-drawn look and sleek, stylish combat, not to mention a full story campaign on top of the expected multiplayer support. Although there isn't online matchmaking against randos, but does have remote play together, so if you can find a friend who's interested, this can be pretty great, but as a single player thing, it's good as well.
You know nothing of the pact that binds us!
You can't survive my wrath!
If you're an indie developer and have no idea how to start with marketing your game, get on my mailing list via the link in the description below, where I'll send you some free templates and guides soon. An excellent automation title without conveyor belts is Desynced, one that kind of looks and plays like a classic RTS title, and where you're using a variety of vehicles to mine, refine and build all sorts of stuff. There are buildings to construct, production chains to optimize, a whole planet to explore, and even a programming language to write and customize unit behavior, being for fans of games like Factorial. However, it is in early access and might be a little rough around the edges, with plenty more content to come over the next 1 year or so of planned early access, but it's a good first step right now. I do like arcadey action puzzle games, and a title that fits the bill is UFO Unidentified Falling Objects, one where you're clearing various coloured blocks as they drop from the top of the level, but you are in the level itself, having to avoid enemies, attacks, traps and even blocks falling on your head. You have a handy kick ability that allows you to group blocks together, along with a gun to blow up said blocks, where the bigger the block, the greater the points. There's also plenty of variety in weapons, kicks and even your jump/glide, with plenty of variety in challenges from world to world, so if you are curious, find a quick look video of this on this channel to get a better idea. I misspoke when I last covered Adore, since this action-adventure game with monster taming elements released out of early access, but through that, this actually went from a roguelite to not a roguelite, which is an interesting change to say the least. You're attempting to resurrect the god of the creatures by battling your way through the world and taking on fearsome enemies, having the ability to tame creatures and to fight alongside with them, with a nice variety of creatures and fun combat, and is a hidden gem. Indie fighting games are in a niche within a niche, so it's difficult to get traction, especially in a year with Street Fighter 6 and the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1, so kudos to the developer of Pocket Bravery for making and releasing this title.
Quando é que você vai lutar no 100%, hein?
From the name of this game, it is of course trying to evoke the Neo Geo Pocket color in games like Pocket Fighter due to the pixel art and more chibi proportions. It has a nice variety of 12 characters, which is a larger than normal roster for an indie fighting game, split between the various fighting game character archetypes, and while I'm definitely not in the FGC, I think that this is neat and fighting game players seem to think so as well, so if curious, do check it out. I was so pleasantly surprised to see the success of Kill the Crows, since this pixel art top-down shooter looks awesome and has a gimmick where everyone in the game, including the player, all enemies and even bosses, die in one shot. The Western-inspired setting is neat, and while there is limited enemy variety, it is a nice enough mix to keep you on your toes. Also very fun is the ability to slow down time to tag enemies, which then causes you to rapid fire and shoot all tagged enemies Overwatch Deadeye style, so it's nice to see a non-roguelite twin-stick shooter get some love. A good indie RPG with a musical theme is Death Bulge Battle of the Bands, one that is based on a webcomic of the same name and is a pretty classically made turn-based RPG. While your party only comprises of 3 characters, they each have different classes that they can spec into, which contributes to the fun and strategy in combat. I love the art style and look of this game, being as weird as you might expect, with doses of humour as well. The literal Battle of the Bands setup can be seen as stereotypical, but it is very well made and worth a play. Adventure games do usually end up on a list like this for better or worse, and where a title from acclaimed adventure game developer Deconstruct team is The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, a gorgeous narrative-focused title that will be for fans of the genre. You play as a witch exiled on an asteroid, now having to enter into an unholy agreement with a forbidden creature, using that and a deck of tarot cards to influence cosmic witch society. The characters and writing in this game are excellent, especially as our protagonist grapples with the consequences of her decisions. Perhaps unsurprisingly, this developer has knocked it out of the park once again and really is one of the standouts in this space, essentially making all their future titles a must-see. Folks, now this game is really something special in that while Pack-a-Rat Down the Bun Barrels looks like a regular puzzle game in which you're trying to catch bunnies, there's so much more to this game that meets the eye as you go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. The bunnies all follow the same logic, so you need to learn how they react, either cornering them in the dead end or somehow tricking them into your grasp, and then come additional tools like cages, shovels and carrots. The rabbits can breed and stack to give you baby bunnies and can be chased down the rabbit hole from one level to the next, possibly creating more babies along the way. And then you realize that all the levels are interconnected and you can break walls between levels to bring bunnies from one area to the next, where I highly recommend the YouTube channel Aliens Rock for his playthrough of this game if you are curious, and I do think that meta puzzle games like this are truly what makes them super special and might just be one of the best games of the year.